Hello, everybody. Welcome back to a different series of videos and in a podcast. So today's the new series is which going to be is on the journeys of people who are author and how they write. What are the things unique kind of things going on in their lives. So today I have Kevin joining in. So Kevin is a writer. So thank you, Kevin. It's my pleasure to have you. Thank you very much for joining in.
Thank you, Lakshit.
Yeah. So first question is if you can speak about yourself and what you do.
Lakshit, I am a writer. I'm a full-time writer. I'm a commercial fiction writer and a mythology writer, for now at least. I have written, I think, around 5 books. I've been writing since the age of 12, but I forayed into mass market around when I was, I think, around 21 years old.
Okay.
With my book called the Kankariya trilogy, which was runaway bestseller and sold more than 200,000 copies and blah 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 whatever. So then now I published with Harper, Simon, Penguin. So I'm published with all the major companies right now, and soon to be published with Penguin also. It's in the process only. And that's it. Yeah, I'm a full-time writer. Nothing more interesting than that, to be honest. So.
Okay. And how did you find yourself being a writer? What was that one thing in your self which made you think that writing is the thing which is it's just made for me?
I think it's probably the time when I always wanted to I think I was 12 years old when I started playing. I started reading books.
Okay.
It was in the process of doing because I used to. I had read this chapter from Charles Dickens, Oliver Twist, and I just fell in love with it, and that was about it. But I think the inherent love for storytelling had come ever since because I used to play a lot with toys, with action figures. Like as a child, we used to play with action figures. Right?
Yeah.
So I used to make stories up with my action figures, right? So that was about.
And what was how does really the writing industry works? I would like to know. I have already done episodes with people who write articles, but I just want to know from the aspect of
publishing industry is divided into multiple facets. I mean, there is one which is the pre-production stage, which is a thing. So I divide the publishing industry into very simplistic, cinema filmmaking wala sort of a way.
Okay.
Which is pre-production, production, post-production, right? The pre-production is a time when the person, like a book has been written by the author. Mm-hmm. He gets it edited personally for someone with a freelancer, with someone he knows. He gives it to the editor as an editor of the publishing house. The commissioning editor, she's called the commissioning editor. Commissioning editor takes the book, sees okay, achhi hai, gandi hai. If it's good enough, she goes to the salespeople of the company, of her own company, which this is again in the pre-production stage only, right?
Okay.
So she goes to salespeople of a company. She says, okay, yeah, this is interesting, but I want to do it. The salespeople look at the market for it. So, for instance, if they're like, yeah, this is a science fiction book, so they'll immediately reject it because salespeople will be like, yeah, science fiction bikta nahi market. Correct. Now, if it's, for instance, a mythology book, for instance, right, or it's a business book, for instance, so that sells. So what are they going to do is they're going to be like, okay, this sells, so why don't we do this kind of a print run? Itna advance de sakte hain, itna ye kar sakte hain. Okay? The editor comes back to editor and the author becomes like a one-point communication, and editor becomes like a culmination of all the communication into her own one, like a single form of communication. Anyway, so they talk. She basically offers the author a particular advance. The advance is then given. Author has to accept or decline whether he has an agent or not to negotiate for him. So she can also, the agent can also go to the agent. The author can go to the agent and discuss ki yaar negotiate kar do mere liye. So they mostly take around 10 to 20% cut from their thing, and then so this happens, and then. This gets accepted, then basically the book is scheduled for a launch, and then there's an entire schedule that ki kab hoga launch. Jab launch hota hai, then it comes to the production page. The kitab print hoti hai, hota hai, kitna print hoye, kya hoye, whatever. Then post production, which is basically your marketing and everything, publicity. So that's about it. Yeah, that's how the publishing industry is.
And what are how would you describe what are the good sides and the bad sides of being a writer?
I think the good side of being a writer is obviously living on your own terms and living. You have no boss, which is the perfect part. Even the publishers, you are their client, you're the publisher's client, so, right? So I mean, they're not even your bosses. So that's one good thing out there. The bad part is obviously that you don't get to do a lot of things after finishing a book. So, for instance, if you are writing, especially in my case, because I write my books really fast, people who are not able to write fast, they take like a, like a lot of time so that they can fill up their year, right? But with me, it's like I write fast, so I don't have much to do after a while, right? And how many books can you write in a year? I mean, it's
Yeah.
just, that's about it, yeah.
And how does the financial things work? How would you describe how being an author is financially stable or unstable?
So I'll tell you. I mean, it basically is that it's also a very pessimistic way of looking at it, and also positive, because the thing is, there are two ways to go about it. One is that कि एक तो सेल्फ पब्लिशिंग में चले जाते हैं लोग, कि सेल्फ पब्लिशिंग में जिसमें उनके ही पैसा जा रहा होता है, वो कमा नहीं रहे होते. एक होता है ट्रेडिशनल पब्लिशिंग में बेसिकली they can earn money, and if they become a bestseller, they can earn money from their advances, their translation rights, their film rights, their world rights. I mean, there are multiple rights that they can sell off and everything. See, it depends. See, the thing is, it's, I think, 0.001. I don't know how many 0.1, but only those amount of people can actually become a successful writer. A lot of people are not able to become successful writer and earn money from writing.
Okay.
So I wouldn't say it's like a financially stable profession. But I would say that if you are coming to the writing field to earn money, then it's the wrong field to come, because you're just going to lose money. If you're coming to the writing field to be a writer, then obviously, well, you will. Then money is just a part of it, I guess.
Okay. And how much years does it take for a person, to make his own self name and get into traditional like how can I for example, if I want to become an author, and how can I make my name in the market, so people, when they see that my book is coming, they will be excited to read it. So how that thing works in the author, writing industry?
I think how many years, अगर तुम आंसर करोगे उसका, how many years, there is no definite year, यार. To be honest, there is no definite thing. Like होता है ना कि promotion मिल जाती है every 30 साल, 5 साल, whatever. In authors में ऐसा कुछ नहीं. It's very flexible. It's basically your book. The book can be a salvation. Another book, a sequel to that book could be your damnation, right? So I mean, it's that fickle in the industry. So no, there is no particular year for it.
Okay.
I think it's probably by just doing quality work, quality writing, getting it edited to the fullest, and also to make your book as good as possible that you can, right,
Okay.
without the publisher's help, and then giving it out for free. I think what most authors do is that they want money upfront, right? They're like, "Paisa mujhe." I think for someone who must have interviewed entrepreneurs, right? I'm sure that one of the most important things entrepreneurs do with the startups is that they invest in their startup, right? They're not going to expect money from the startup, right?
Yeah.
So think of a book as a startup only. Think of each of your books, not just books, sorry. Think of a name, which is a brand, right? Because क्या होता है ना, publishing में होता है कि the book में, in films, the writers don't sell, the actors sell, right? If you see a Tiger Shroff movie, you're gonna go and watch it, right?
Yeah.
But in books, it's like you only read the book because of the author. So to build that brand, you have to kind of create that sort of. I mean, you have to invest a lot of your money and your time into it, and you can't expect anything from in return for a long time. So that's one thing.
And what are the hard parts of being an author? Like you said, you are being published by a lot of different publishers. So how does they differ? What are the differences you see by yourself?
So if you go to a big publisher like a Penguin and a HarperCollins, you are like kind of lost at the sea, because there are so many other books that they're coming out with, and they, even if they want to put attention to you, they won't be able to put attention to you. The smaller publishers obviously give that sort of personal touch to it, but obviously they don't have the sort of what do you call that, bandwidth to market you to the fullest, which which a big publisher do. So I think there's always this thing. There's always this problem.
Like how does your mental health is being affected being a writer? I don't know what was in your case, but like normally. Yeah, mental health. How does it take pressure on your mental health also when you want to write?
So basically, what happens is that. So yeah, that's a good question, because many people have not asked me this question, which is important to address. I think, of course, you don't have the stress that other people have in their day-to-day life, which is like 9 to 5 jobs. Obviously, you don't have that stress because you're your own master, you're your own thing, right? But with or being an author is that you have this constant level of frustration that you might fail, because that's I told you, right? It's very fickle. Like, one book might sell, the other book won't sell, and the moment you will stop selling, you're no one, right? No matter how you have done in the past, it doesn't matter. So, and obviously with me personally, I do have anxiety because of that, because it kind of triggers my anxiety, because you are basically battling the unknown. You don't know exactly what's going to happen in the future, right? So that's one of the major things that an author faces, I guess. And but it's okay. I mean, at the end of the day, what matters is that you have to beat it out, and you have to like make sure that you don't get affected by it, and you should be thankful about the fact that you should. I think most of the time what happens is people don't live in the present; they live in the future or in the past. There's like either or that, right? So I think because the realest thing right now is the present, right? That's the most real thing, right? The future is an illusion. The past was a well,
Yeah.
past. So yeah.
Okay.
So that's what I do.
And what did you like? You being what did you learn from your hard times being an author? What kind of difficulties did you see in your the journey, and what did you learn from them?
I think like any other again, like any other entrepreneur out there, I think one of the major things that you have to do is like kind of learn from your mistakes and kind of learn from where you have fallen down and how you can correct it and where you can correct it. And where to also invest in your assets, what is an asset and what is a liability. So for instance, I know that there are few books of mine that might be a liability to me, right? That might not generate as much income or as much sales or as much value to my brand as much as the other book that might be coming down. So I would rather invest in that book than the one which will not give me that returns. So I think that's what I did with during my hard time, is to basically analyze as much as I can.
Okay. And what were your like when you said to your family, you said you come from an army background. So what was your family's that response to it when you said you want to become an author?
Totally chill, yeah. They were totally happy with it.
Okay, wonderful. So what would be your advice to anybody who wants to become an author?
I think one of the major things that they first do is should read a lot, because you can't be a writer without being a reader. Second thing you have to do is to make sure that that you don't have, if you have written something, make sure that a lot of criticism is going to come towards you. I think it's a little hard for you to like for the writer to take it initially, but like you have to like kind of like be strong about it and have an armor of, I don't know, whatever, a bronze armor to get to deflect your attacks to criticism. So that's one. So that's second. That's it. Yeah, that's it. To be honest, no other tip, I think.
Okay.
And yes, save up your money for marketing, because no one is going to market it.
Okay, great. Thanks for that. What would be your message to anybody seeing this or hearing this? So what things you think you didn't cover in this? So would you like to speak about that? You can.
Anyone who's seeing this, of course, what I would say is that first of all, thanks for seeing this, because if you're watching it, you're probably watching it because you might have heard of me, or you have read me, or you just like Lakshit Kankariya and just like, you want to see what he's come up with next. But what I'm saying is that I hope you read my books, and hope you keep following Lakshit as well. And
thank you.
Thank you.
I just wanted to ask this question, but I just was confused. So yeah, what is a common myth about being an author? What people make myth, and if you can debunk them?
I think अभी भी वही classic common myth है that झोला पहनता है कुर्ता पहनता है, and that sort of a writer. But I think वो ज़माना चले गया. I think writers have become like really fashionable. Just look at the top writers like Ravinder and Joy. I mean, they have become social media celebrities. So I think वो myth अब चले गया.
Okay. So yeah, wonderful. Thank you very much. It was a wonderful session. A lot of unique things to learn. Thank you very much for being here. It was a pleasure to have you. Thank you.
Thank you.